phenomenal performance with some players being rotated out of their roster. Going against Rocket University, the OQ, with a smattering of players from various countries and various teams.
Yeah, like you said, a bunch of different changes going around on both sides, really. Rocket bringing together talent from other teams, bringing them together through the open qualifiers and making it here into stage 2. Some of them have been in this situation before, some new, some old. But whereas on the side of Gen.G, they went through an overhaul of the roster themselves.
Yeah, we've got a couple of folks from the US and Canada, which is like, pulling players from the Citadel team. My apologies. Jeez, words are escaping me. And, they've punched their W key, at least their W ticket, in the Group B a couple of days ago against Down Payment, going 2-0. Rocket University sitting on a big goose egg in terms of those dubs. But hey, if Zen, Zero Tenacity are able to put up an upset against Reject, I wouldn't count out Rocket University just yet.
Yeah, there's a world where Rocket University do find an upset win against Gen.G, but right now that upset needs to happen. Rocket are sitting at 0-2 right now, still looking for their first win here in Group B. And if they do come out in a loss here, it makes it very, very difficult to make it out of the group stage.
And of course, right off the rip, the Ultron being banned out from Rocket against Gen.G, I mean, smart. We've seen Snake high in the sky, rocking the Ultron time and time again, and when that rage goes off, it's just healing and damage for all parties involved, and especially for domination, right, where teams and players aren't necessarily spread out as much. You don't want the Ultron high in the sky as the supporting factor for Gen.G. A smart ban from Rocket.
Yeah, and both sides also do pick up the Luna Snow. Rocket do opt to go for the Magneto, provide that extra pressure, especially with the limitations of the strategist pool at the moment. Picking a Cloak and Dagger would be a bit of a risk going in on the side of Gen.G, but Rocket are also going to be denied the Ultron on both sides. Same as for the Captain America and the Mantis as well.
Yeah, but take note that, Rocket hasn't been banned out a Loki. I apologize. They were banned out a Loki. Gen.G have the option to pick that up for themselves, and that'll be kind of crucial. We talk about the long-range sustainment, and Hoodie's already hovering on it, and that might be premonition right there.
Yep. Loki's still a very strong pickup here. Keep in mind, it is still the more busted version of Loki, the stronger version, since we are still on that 3.5 patch. 4.0 will start next week, but for now, it will be the more stronger version of Loki.
Okay. As we, team up, so far it's gonna be a bit of a battle. I'm looking at the likes of False as well as Monster to really take to the front lines, just trying to dispel as much as possible. We've got Snake, Brownie hovering around the edges. That's the right move here to be able to try to snipe some of the Rocket folks out of the way. And they've got a bit of play themselves. And on the Phoenix, that's a powerful start to begin with. We know that the Phoenix itself, especially around the close quarter map like Krakoa, is able to really explode around sparks, and that's where you get the explosions. And with the fact that they have secured themselves Magneto, that we've seen that combo wombo, it is explosive.
Yeah, but here on the side of, I believe, Rocket University, or was it? Yeah, Rocket University, they're not going to have access to that. Is it Rocket University? I'm not entirely sure, but there may be some.
I think Rocket has the Magneto, yes.
Yes, Rocket does have the Magneto, so yeah, like you said, they do have the option to go for that wombo combo with the Inferno and the Meteor as well, so we're gonna have to keep our eyes open for those kinds of plays if they want to come out in a significant lead in this map number 1. But for now, Gen.G still are the team to beat right now. Even though they went through an overhaul of a roster themselves, they still have a very, very strong lineup as of right now.
Oh, 100%, right? And so it'll have to be the likes of NRX and Winsger who really have to try to tackle the back line of Gen.G. I think that's the really foundational aspect of the Korean team. You know, when you have the likes of Hoodie as well as Snake just holding on that backline fort, you know, it's just superb. And the Loki is going to be very powerful here. If you can tag up both, I believe they've already picked that Luna Snow right off the rip when the gates dropped. That's just 24 seconds of near invulnerability. Yes, we do have the counter from Rocket, perhaps trying to isolate the Luna Snow Fate of both worlds with both a Meteor M plus an Ensong Inferno, but that's 2 ultimates for the price of 1. And then the Loki can just sweep right in. God of Mischief does it again, going for round 2. That's so much sustain.
Yeah, but we do want to talk about Rocket's potential as well. But on the side of Gen.G, again, like you said, 24 seconds of near invulnerability is going to be crucial when it comes to these domination fights. You've even got Monster, I believe, on the Venom as well, a pick that we don't see very often here in the Asian region, but I know there in other regions it's a decent pickup here, especially with that disruption when you dive right in, and probably your next best option when it comes to dives with that Captain America being banned from both sides as well.
Yeah, you know, Gen.G running that kind of pseudo dive, kind of fluid movement of the team, being able to keep their survivability intact even in the backline is going to be important. And Rocket University, I feel like they do have a few things that they can pair up against, right? Just not too long ago on their Midtown map number 2, we saw them explode out of the barriers as a 6th form, right up the ramp into the high ground, and that's trying to take the opponents by surprise. And I want to see a bit more of that movement as a 6 stack together. That's when you can really zone in on your flanks, on your flankers, take those out, and then focus your fight forward once again.
Yeah, and especially on the map of Krakoa, you've got so many portals to work with. You got a lot of different ways these dives style heroes can find different angles, find different ways to get in. Both teams are piloting the Psylocke, so we're gonna have to keep our eyes open for where they are positioned, where they're standing, see if they are able to find that crucial pick onto a key strategist denying key abilities. So there's a lot going on that we're gonna go in very, very soon, hopefully.
Yeah, indeed. And you know, while we have chat basically holding y'all hostage with me and Dan right now, you know, I don't think we had the time during the pre-show to kind of talk about what this really means for Rocket University. They're right now basically towards the bottom of this Group B scoreboard with 2 losses to their name. And if they lose out against Gen.G, I feel like it may be mathematically impossible for them to come back strong next week for their chances to make it into playoffs. So just like some of the other series that we've seen today, it is a big hit it or miss it moment for Rocket University. They have to put in their all.
Yeah, they have to all in here, or else it might be Rocket University just bombing out here in the group stage. But then again, in this kind of scenario, anything can happen. We saw one upset so far, but we have yet to see another one come into fruition. And who knows, maybe Rocket have what it takes to take down this Titan of Gen.G, who are also the runner-ups from stage 1.
Yeah, and if Gen.G win this, obviously, you know, chats, I've been watching chat for the last 5 minutes, very excited about Gen.G themselves, a big name staple here in the Asia region. If they're able to get that dub, it'll be putting themselves right up with Zero Tenacity, putting a bit of a lead against Rejects, who had bested them in the past. So obviously they do want the advantage here in the Group of Death. It's going to be super important for them to solidify themselves. Every point counts. Group B is as tight as it gets.
Yeah, right now, a lot of teams already having 1 point to their name. If I remember correctly, I think it's just Rocket University at the moment who still have yet to look for a point, a win to their name, but everyone else still having that win so far. Can they get it here? Or will they need to go absolutely crazy if they want to keep themselves alive in this tournament? Only time will tell, as Gen.G and Rocket University finally will be locking heads.
Yep, Winsger will have to back off. You see them being the early scout. Now grouped up with the rest of the team. We talk about Rocket having interesting movements around, taking this back high ground, wanting to split and isolate some of the low-key clones, but Snake hiding like a snake in the grass, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. Gen.G will take the point and we'll start things off onto that backline. Monster, the Venom coming out strong. A trade from Winsker onto Snake. No more hiding in the grass. Brownie out of action. Rocket are firing on all cylinders, finding amongst onto Gen.G.
Yeah, great picks coming in from both sides, honestly. Trades going in left and right, but in the end, it is Gen.G that win out as they are able to take control. Already at 20% false, we'll find a pick onto Slugs. Monster also diving right in, trying to provide that extra disruption, but Rocket don't quite necessarily find the ground that they want as Monster being that nuisance still, as he's able to find NRX. Might be able to find more, but the Eternal Bond will keep them at bay as a great stun comes in onto Monster, but has the extra health bar to get himself back up and going, but Rocket looking to take control.
Take control. It's 51% to Gen.G, and they still only just managed to get it away from Gen.G's fingers. It took everything. The survivability of False and Monster as the Vanguard was phenomenal to buy time, wait for the respawns from Gen.G's backline to come in, and even then it took, so much out of Rocket to force the point out of the grips of Gen.G.
Still pretty even in terms of trades overall, but Rocket do win out obviously by taking control of the site. But look at the check up on the ultimates. 5 ultimates are about to be online on the side of Gen.G. Rocket only are working with 3, but Slux and Secret are close, but Snake does open things up in this fight. Supernova will be popped by Brownie, but Snake in the background doing so much work as Brownie stacks another knockout for the team. Gen.G looking to complete the retake.
Surgical, just maniacal from Gen.G. Snake coming in huge with a nice 2k, and look at the movement tech right at the end of Brownie just hiding beneath that jump pad just to be able to focus down Sang-Shin, who had the seduction out. No seduction here for the Human Torch as Rocket prepare their re-advancements here on the point. They'll have to make it quick because Gen.G's already 3/4 of the way, looking to take the teleport for a bit of back-end action.
This might be this might be difficult for Rocket to win this fight. Gen.G, they didn't commit too much on the ultimates, and they were still able to wipe out what was left of Rocket. But here we go. Secret has to use the Fatal Form to neutralize what is the dance of the butterfly, as Winsker will find Hoodie in the background. Winsker also threatening with the dance of the butterfly on their end in favor of Rocket University, but everyone's letting their ultimates fly as False is able to melee down 2. Brownie dives in, finds Sang-Shin. Can he find more? But it looks like Gen.G are looking to take over this first round.
That overtime burns through. Rocket are shut out. I mean, it just was so labored to even steal back that first point, and they can't do it a second time. Gen.G remain very strong here at Cradle, so we'll have to look at eyes onto Carousel to see if Rocket University can figure a way back into this domination map.
Yeah, the amount of discipline coming in from Gen.G, able to win out these fights without relying on the ultimates. That was probably the deciding factor in these fights. Rocket did commit a few ultimates in some of these fights, but they still lost out on the skirmishes. And Gen.G, knowing that they're just the better team right now, just don't rely on ultimates, rely on the pure firepower that this team is providing, and that might be the difference here as we head into the second round. Gen.G looking to just make a statement here in this first map.
Yeah, Hoodie, I don't think even they popped the God of Mischief. Was taken out at that tail end of the team fight on point 1. Not even required. Gen.G, no sweat. as they look to solidify their lead here. Not if Rocket has anything to say about that. Not a lot of ultimates to their name. Let's have the invisible boundary onto Fish. We'll see how useful it is for them to crack open to the site. It's gonna be both Psylocks just dancing around. Now he's gonna have to force themselves back out because Brownie is just applying a bit more pressure from the top side. Now coming in from a bit of dash movement. He's gonna be locked out with this wall, but still able to find the likes of Secret plus NRX. It is a dismantling. The invisible boundary comes up from Fish, but I don't know if it's too little too late by now.
It might just be as Rocket are getting picked off left and right. And Gen.G looking to take control as Rocket need to find a way back. As these ultimates are nowhere near close. Sangshin does have his ultimate coming up soon with the Strangling Prison. But on the side of Gen.G, you've got Hoodie still holding on to the God of Mischief. Felix is now close to the Fate of Both Worlds. Brownie and Snake also threatening with theirs as well.
I'm thinking like, yes, they have, you know, the Strangling Prison, but how do you pair that up to make it impactful? Yes, you can grab everyone in. They're not stunned necessarily. And there's not much else that they can really work it. Rocket just playing a bit all over the place, trying to weave and whistle their way onto the side. Now Snake will hop onto the back line with a dance of the butterfly. Doesn't find too much value though, so invisibility they go, looking for support and get Flux out of the way.
Wait, Strangling Prison is able to find Monster. Brownie will go down in the hands of Winds here as Sangshin able to find himself a quick double, might even make it a triple, but the rest of Rocket will take control. And again, at around 40-50%, Rocket finally do flat back.
Okay, not too shabby, able to at least stall the progress of Gen.G just a little bit. They're happy to give it away. They have multiple ultimates that they could make their way in the Abyss. Probably going to start things off, and when you couple that with a Supernova, that's going to be humongous in terms of the damage application from Gen.G. He's just going to try to stop that with a side hustle around this.
Oh, 1v1.
Dance of these two. Oh, it got close. And now it's starting to Supernova from the backside. They're being pinched on all fronts.
Yeah, the domino effect of ultimate's coming online, ready to go. Fish is getting it on. Supernova down. Here comes the beast. Will it provide value? It does. Denies the Fate of Both Worlds, and Monster denies any sort of life coming out of Rocket.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, the ultimate efficiency from Gen.G is phenomenal. They're still holding on to Hoodie's God of Mischief as well as the False's... Sorry, my apologies. False's Anima Frost ultimate, and it's just phenomenal in terms of just waiting things out, able to take pace and control of their ultimates. Rocket grouped up, they sense weakness if they're spread out, so grouping together is the name of the game here if you want any action back on this side.
Take control yet again. Snake rolls openings up with a opening on the Secret, who doesn't have the Fate of Both Worlds, but still is a necessary pick nonetheless. But Gen.G, they had their own Fate of Both Worlds thanks to Hoodie, who finally uses the God of Mischief. But Monster able to shred down Sangshin. Snake will do the same to Fish. Will find another onto his own doppelganger. And Gen.G looking to take map number 1 in 7 seconds time.
I mean, the group up didn't quite work either, right? Snake had popped the... They're out
Can you make it up the side?
so able to find Secret at the end of it. The teleport comes in as a Hail Mary from Rocket. But with one of the strategists out, Slugs as well. It's just Vanguard's falling left and right. NRX can stand no longer. And the Psionic Seduction forcing out Fish. Nowhere in sight. It's gonna be that first point. Easy for Gen.G.
That looked to be one of the more dominant map ones we have seen. Rocket did show some resistance. They did show that they are able to take some of these fights, but in the end, the amount of discipline, the amount of resource management on the side of Gen.G was just enough for them to take control, take over map number 1 and put Rocket on the back foot.
Yeah, and it was a bit labored, right, for Rocket University. They struggled to find cohesive entries into it, even on that first point, right? You call back in terms of them being able to find all these early picks individually, but still weren't able to take down the vanguards. I mean, the sustain and the body positioning from the side of Monster and False was phenomenal to just drag the fights long enough for reinforcements to swoop in and help them out.
What a play, what a game for Gen.G, especially on Monster, right? With the Beast denying somehow the fate of both worlds and is just able to just shred down everyone else. And that is just something great to see, as well as False also having his moments of brilliance as well. The two North American frontline here in Gen.G, showing that even if you bring international talent here into the Asia region, you can still perform at the highest level. And Gen.G are looking like the team we saw back in stage 1, just being that dominant team and just taking over games.
Yeah, I still want to call out some of the stuff that side of Rocket University are working around. I mean, the fact that the likes of their Doctor Strange, which is Sanction, right? Who was Doctor Strange in the second map. In the first map was Emma Frost. 21k damage blocked. I mean, you're really trying to put up numbers here. You're trying to be the face and the front line, the vanguard, the true tank member here for Rocket University, letting kind of NRX and Winsgard do their thing around the sides. You trust them that they have to get their picks, and unfortunately, it kind of falls flat at the tail end. They tried the fluidity thing that Gen.G is so well known for, but it just doesn't quite come up to par.
Yeah, I honestly thought Hoodie was gonna just hold on to the fate of both worlds for the entire map, and all in all, they just really didn't even need it. Whereas on Rocket, they had to dump almost everything if they wanted to even have a chance at winning these fights. But on the side of Gen.G, they were just able to, like we talked about before, they just didn't have to rely on the ultimates as much as Rocket did, and being able to just spread out your ultimate usage just provides so much control, so much influence when it comes to these extended fights, these extended skirmishes. And that is exactly what Gen.G did. Whereas Rocket, they need to go back to the drawing board, figure out what map to work with, as they do have the map priority pick and the side selection pick. But we're gonna have to wait and see what the choice is for Rocket if they want to come back and complete the upset, a must-need upset. So we'll come back for that.
Trapping all those fighting souls, but yet across the world I see you standing in my way. And remember the time, the place we used to fight, like the sun and moon. And I wonder if ever there was a time that we were friends. The night has fallen, shadows looming, and yes, that time has come for me to seek you out. We are set now for our last reunion. Break the chains, find your way, come find me. Do you remember who you really?
And now with Rocket University with their backs against the wall, having lost the first map against Gen.G, they have to do it all in order to secure their hopes of remaining in contention for the playoffs here. Dan, break it down for us.
Oh boy, Rocket. We talked about this before. They are very much in the back foot. They are up against the wall, almost similar to what we saw from Assemble Fire situation, where they had to come back in map number 2, and unfortunately they just fell short in that map. But hopefully Rocket University, they have something to respond with, and their response will be choosing Midtown, and will start on the defense first.
Yeah, Midtown, the more favorited map nowadays here in Stage 2. We've seen multiple Midtowns in the It'll be interesting to see what they want to bring differently from the last time we saw them. They didn't put up, unfortunately, the most terrific performance, but we did see, a triple come out from them. We did see the rush strat right off the bat from their attack side, and and the last time we talked about it, I wanted them to cook more, right? They had some great ideas, but the exec was falling short. So let's hope that they've turned things around since their last L.
Yeah, and whereas Gen.G, they are in that lead. They do have the match point advantage here. But for now, Gen.G are looking really, really strong right now, especially when it comes to these resource management scenarios where most fights, they didn't have to rely on those key ultimates, and they were just able to rely on their firepower, rely on their basic abilities, whereas Rocket, they need to find something. They need to figure out a way to crack through what is the incoming offense of Gen.G.
Yeah, and it's not to fault Rocket. They've done their homework a fair bit, right? They've already tried to ban out the Ultron, very targeted against Snake. They've banned out the Magneto as well, which honestly, Monster has been so domineering on in previous games. So targeted surgical bans against key players of Gen.G, but their hero pool runs deep. Monster doing so much survivability on the Venom, and a nice snack right at that tail end with the Feast of the Abyss. And Snake, no problemo. We'll take you 1v1 against Windsor on the Psylocke to really put you in the ground. So hey, back to the drawing boards. If we can't pick these two out of the roster, what else can Rocket University do?
Yeah, Rocket probably will need to ban out the Ultron again. Midtown, a very favored map for the verticality of it. So flyers like the Torch, like the Ultron, that are teamed up together quite commonly could be an option for both teams as of right now, as the Emma will be the prioritized lock for Gen.G. Midtown being one of those maps with a lot of lanes, a lot of choke points, which is a prime and ideal scenario for Emma Frost players.
Identifying their win condition is Gen.G, right? Locking in the Emma Frost. Great start. It kind of shows their hand a little bit. So this is an opportunity for Rocket to figure out maybe a targeted ban. I'm gonna go wild, right? Like the Doctor Strange. No, of course it's gonna be the Magneto on their mind. Monster has to be dealt with. Both sides think that the Meteor M has to vanish from the server.
Yep, that's exactly what happens. I'm surprised that the Magneto was prioritized. Oh, Rocket will also choose to lock in the Emma Frost for themselves. I'm a little bit surprised that both teams aren't really banning out the Captain America. But then again, we are on Midtown, so that verticality might provide a bit of bumps, a little bit of a hurdle for Captain America players to try to get value out of these dives, get value out of the freedom charges. But I do respect Emma Frost being the higher priority here as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's been such a big save, right? Not just in the Asia region, not just in Stage 2 either. Stage 1 across the world, NA, EMEA, OCE, all these teams have actually prioritized a lot of Emma Frost, and I feel like today is the first time that we've really seen both the teams really want to lock in this Vanguard. Loki will be the choice for Gen.G, just for that backline sustain. They don't necessarily have the Mantis nor the Luna, but hey, stick a Cloak and Dagger in there, get some value out of that Eternal Bond. That's Gucci too.
Yeah, Cloak and Dagger is also a very safe pick here with no Meteor threatening a one-shot potential. But for now, Gen.G figuring out a way to break through that what is the defense of Rocket University, who do start on the defense, and it looks like they will be going for what we see in most Convergence, in most Convoy maps, the triple Vanguard, triple strategist combo.
Say it with me, Dan. Say it. No, you gotta say it, the new name. The new name that the entire community is gonna be using. Come on.
I don't know. We've had some opposition.
Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me here. No, don't leave me. No, we could have caught here. Chat. Say it with me.
It's a triple.
It's the triple. Let's go. Winsker. Right. Hopping on to the Adam Warlock. Rocket have been banned out the Loki, right? So the sustainment from the ultimates not necessarily in their favor, but hey, what's better? Bodies on the battlefield with a nice karmic revival. That might be the key as they give up this space fairly early on, right? They're Gen.G just pushing and bringing the fight straight into the building here.
Yep, and this has been a more common position for many of these teams. And most teams, or at least in Stage 1 and the mid-season finals, they took control of that hotel area on the right side of our screen. But now most teams have been gravitating towards this area of the map, which is a lot more open, a lot more space to work with. And especially if with Gen.G rocking the Moon Knight, it's going to be a little more, just a little bit more difficult for Brownie to find those AoE left clicks, AoE right clicks. But then again, Brownie already has the Hand of Khonshu available. And Monster, look at him go. He is so close to getting the Dragon Prison, but it gets taken out in the end. And Rocket looking for a necessary defense.
Oh, they're pressing though. They want to stagger every single part of Gen.G. A nice last minute pick on to Brownie, which, you know, once again, just bleeds time away from that Strangling Prison Hand of Khonshu combination that is Gen.G as they reaggress here onto the card. Sanction doing their best as the Emma Frost trying to dance around this card, using the natural barrier still there.
Oh, here we go.
The combo wombo. Is it sustained? It's not. They evacuate out. Sanction's the only one caught in the midst of it all. But never mind. Brownie fires back with fires to the name. Here comes the Resurrect.
Yeah, the Resurrect coming from Whisker is providing to be so valuable here. Mega Hurricane is going to be well timed. No support coming in until Secret is there with the invisible boundary to keep the team alive, to neutralize what could have been a disastrous tornado. And now the response from Gen.G with the Silent Seduction is providing to be valuable. Felix will find Sunshade. Hoodie will find another as well, as the rest of Gen.G looking to keep this momentum, keep this train moving on forward.
Brownie's finding so many beautiful knockouts from just pure great positioning, as well as focus fire around the rest of the team to open things up. Now look at that reposition. Monster knows the movement tech, wanting to take control of it. Have eyesight on this teleport as Rocket just pushed themselves through.
Okay, Sludge does have the Strangling Prison, is able to pin down Snake, and that Storm will be out of the fight, but a good double stun from Rocket University to try to find a pick. Will net them a pick onto Monster. Gen.G, now pretty staggered, will immediately look to regroup.
I mean, pretty good explosive retake from the side of Rocket. You know, yes, they burned effectively the Strangling Prison from Slux, but not too much. Both strategists ultimates still online as Winster's now hopped onto the Bucky, wanting to take a bit more into the side of Brownie and Snake.
Go, Hand of Khonshu being used, and it's going to be providing a lot of zones for Gen.G to control. But the Fate of both worlds just a little bit too away, so 2 members down is Rocket University, but can they still find the value that they need? Felix will use the Eternal Bond to try to deny the Kraken impact as Pulse will find one, will probably find more with that Psionic Seduction. Felix finding a pick on the Sangshin Hoodie as well, contributing to the barrage of knockouts in favor of Gen.G as they secure first point.
First point well within their grasp. 240, not the best, not the worst. Right, a solid performance actually from the side of Rocket to be able to put up a defensive hold with a beautiful teleport, and then just a little bit too overwhelming towards the end from the side of Gen.G to storm the front. Now back to, looks like Sunjin hopping onto the Doctor Strain, holding on to that pick. Looking that the Eye of Agamotto may find value. Looking at Snake, the Wolverine in action as a direct counter against Slux. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out here in this midsection.
Yeah. Props to the observers for observing Snake, and I think Brownie, as soon as they took the first point, immediately went into the spawn room and just switched out to a different composition. Snake rocking the Wolverine. Brownie on the torch will control both land and sky, but Rocket do find a pick and will keep Gen.G at bay for now.
Now Monster just overstepping their boundaries a little bit more, so we'll have to come back with it. I'm I hope Hoodie doesn't hold on to their God of Mischief ultimate too much. It has that in the bag. Oh, Monster once again just being chipped down so low from Winsker. Now understanding there's going to be a flank from the side, so has to back up with the benefits of it. The high ground ultimate from Groot doesn't quite find so much value as the rest of Rocket not in a great position to fight against it. Monster wants to be good, but the rest of their team is just that credit so far.
Yeah, 1 for 1 overall so far. Invisible Boundary in favor of Rocket University, but the burst damage coming in from Gen.G almost wipes out so many members of Rocket University. As here we go, False with the Silent Seduction, blocking, using the shield to defend himself from any sort of danger, any sort of opposition. And Gen.G looking to take over, but a trade comes in yet again. Invisible Boundary on top of Gen.G in favor for them, as Gen.G looking to try to find a way back, but another trade as NRX with the Kraken Impact finds one, but cannot find more. Still very, very even, but the Strangling Prison pins off so much members of Rocket University. They are going to get sent straight to spawn, and Gen.G will need to keep this momentum going.
Yeah, Brownie now on the Phoenix, right, with pairs so well with Strangling Prison as well. Once again, Rocket using their teleport pretty early on just to reposition them into a very, actually, honestly, great start. This corner provides them a bit more defensive positioning for their strategists. They'll just have to burst onto the side. It starts off with Windsor, the Omega Hurricane, opening things up. Great wall to isolate the fight. And they're able to take this control back. Overtime already clicked on for the side of Gen.G, so Rocket holding a very defensive front.
Gen.G need to go. The overtime meter dangerously low now. They bleeded so much time as Gen.G just piling on in. So many particles. The Inferno torches NRX. And the rest of Rocket may follow suit here as Brownie dashes right in, gets into your face, torches you right in the eyes as Gen.G look to secure the second point and prevent a disastrous overtime scenario.
I mean, that was honestly super close. Rocket had a pretty good hold, had combo wombo with great isolations from the Groot walls, plus the Omega Hurricane just to be able to whittle down some of that front lines. But the explosiveness from Brownie, it was amazing. And you're not done just yet, right? Pressing the issue, hiding up in these second floors, whittling down Winsker, having to duck away for just a little bit longer.
Bobbing and weaving is Brownie as he lays down as much damage as possible. A popular pick here in most of these teams, and you can see why. So much AoE, so much potential for a lot of this splash damage. Flux threatening with the Strangling Prison. Last stand was used, but can they find more? Rocket will find an opening onto the Wolverine yet again.
It's a back and forth so far. The Kraken going absolutely ham right now, but can't be sustained in the midst of it all. The I will find 3. Is it capitalized upon? It absolutely is. The volumes are falling. Sanction finds value after value. NRX seals the deal with a Kraken impact right to Monster's face.
They do anything about it, Gen.G. I don't think a portal can save them here. 2 seconds left. Now the timer hits 0. The time going into slow motion as Gen.G have to settle with 2.
I mean, not too shabby, all things considered. You know, Rocket University, bottom of the scoreboard, able to put up a solid defensive hold and deny Gen.G a 3rd point. It actually might go the distance here towards Rocket University for their map pick.
Yeah, there's a world, but with Gen.G not being able to secure the 3rd point, we are not going to see an overtime here on map number 2. As Rocket, it's their turn to go for the attack, and Gen.G, what is the plan here? What is the option? As we do see yet again a triple, but Brownie, will he stay on that Penny Parker? That is going to be the question. Some teams have been rocking the Penny to just get that extra zone
30
potential.
seconds before you attack. Ready?
And it looks like Gen.G will work with that.
They will indeed. You know, it's interesting because it's not necessarily it is a triple, so a lot of sustain. They've got Snake rocking the Karmic Revival Adam. I love this skin, by the way. But interestingly enough, Rocket, look, they've got Winsger on the storm. They might run the same thing that they did yesterday and just run up ramp onto top second.
They might do that,
hotel.
yeah. We'll see what the plan is here. Penny Mimes as well to try to just keep them at bay as Sangshi gets absolutely chunked by it. And Rocket, they're not opting to go for that option right now. They're just going to go straight in to take the aggression head on for the time being. As the zones do come in for Gen.G. A lot of control in favor for them as we get a wide view of what we're working with right now. Gen.G and Rocket going at it yet again. Rocket in a must-win scenario, so they need to play this attacking side out of their goddamn mind.
Indeed, and it starts right here, you know, just trying to garner as much ultimate charge as possible. Brownie applying pressure. Those leaves around the side, and Kirby Monster finding their counterpart right off the rip. Already the strangling prison comes out from Monster. Snake and Brownie capitalize, and it's a near team wipe against Rocket.
It's on now.
Yeah, I don't think Rocket were aware that Monster had that strangling prison up so quickly. It took him not even a minute for that strangling prison to come online and ready to go, and Rocket just get completely caught off guard, it seems like. But luckily they aren't very far from spawn, so they still have a lot more attempts to work with.
Now coming out, NRX in the midst of this chaos, finding that back line, and now responds to the moon, indeed haunting the rest of Gen.G. NRX goes wild.
Wait.
Thanks to the Karmic Revival down within the recesses of the spider lane. Now they're coming out full force onto this card.
That was a great wombo combo, but it's immediately denied by Snake with the Karmic Revival. But can Gen.G capitalize on it? That is the big question here. Not a lot of ultimates available, but keep your eyes on Monster. He's the only man with an ultimate right now, but it looks like they're not going to need it just yet.
I mean, it's wild. You think about Brownie and the positioning of those nests, right? Holding Hotel on the left side, completely within your domain. That's where Snake's been hiding out. Rocket haven't tried to clear the spider's nest at all, which means they're shut down from that lane and that map control completely.
Shut down for Gen.G, denies any sort of capitalization from the Strangling Prison Panda Kanju wombo combo. Shin trying to do his best to find some sort of value. Monster doesn't quite land the mark with the Strangling Prison, so no value from there. But everyone else on Rocket, everyone else on Gen.G looking to get their ultimates online, ready to go. But the Omega Hurricane is going to provide to be valuable as Gen.G will fall one by one, and Rocket looking to keep this push going.
Finally, a bit of isolation, a bit of a mistake coming from Gen.G to being played a bit too far apart. And that allows Rockets with some great walls coming out from Slux to be able to just get their one-on-ones. But now Gen.G coming in straight with the Doctor Strange portal from the backside, flipping the snap on his head. It's going to be Monster pressing the issue forward.
Jumping in and out, using the cover of the payload as the final judgment from NRX. But the Eye of Agamotto will find 3, and that's going to let everyone from Rocket just push on forward. They might just send this to the moon, but Snake brings them back down to earth as Gen.G. You thought they're out, you thought they're done, but they're not done. They're here, they're ready to fight, and Snake commands his troops, commands his team to keep on going as Snake leads the charge with an opener as the rest of Gen.G inspired, revitalized by Snake with this Karmic Revival as they look to secure the first point here. But it's going to be immediately denied by Rocket, or at least Rocket are denied the push. Gen.G coming out on top with a quick 2-0.
A quick 2-0 indeed. I mean, beautifully done from Gen.G. Rocket University put off pretty much very solid attempts onto the Gen.G folks, but just was stalled out time and time again with some great new tactics coming out from Gen.G, right? Thinking about the Penny Parker not holding up in those choke points that perhaps a Moon Knight can capitalize upon, but just using those spider nests to zone out a third of the entire space right off the bat.
Snake, man. We saw these Karmic Revivals come in clutch in past matches, and here it's no different. Shout out to Ewings, right? Those Karmic Revivals have been absolutely clutch.
Yeah.
And it's the timing of it, right? They were aware that they had an inkling, they had that sense that that Rocket could go for some kind of wombo combo with the Strangling Prison Hana Konshu that we see, and it's one of the easier combos to stack on. But then you got Snake, that sneaky little guy, just going into a corner and just, doing some magic. And the magic proved to be insanely valuable.
Yeah, and that's not even the MVP title here. As we look to the replays, it's going to be in the hands of Brownie, who has been so sharp with the Phoenix. Just stacks and sparks after sparks. You think, right here, you think that perhaps Rocket were able to put a full hold right before the end of leg 2, but nay, it's just Brownie coming out with so much impact to push them on to leg number 3, and it took so much effort for Rocket to stall them out. And unfortunately, they fell short right at the tail end on the flip when Rocket were trying to press the cart for themselves on their attack half.
Oh my gosh. Gen.G, again, just playing out of their minds. Something that Rocket needed to have done, but unfortunately, they were not able to make it to the finish line. Now they are in the exact position that Assemble Fire are in right now, sitting at 0-3 here in Group B. And again, we talked about this when Assemble Fire took their loss. It might be the same fate for Rocket here in Group B.
Indeed, we have the side of NRX, who really tried to hold their front and carry the rest of the team with some, heads being clicked around, but I felt it was a bit too little too late towards that tail end. I felt like it was actually a big brain move from Gen.G, if I think and recall back as to how they were playing around that Karmic Revival. They used that to bait out so many ultimates. They said, hey, don't taunt University, press the issue, draw out their combo wombos. They pulled out a Strangling Prison plus a Hand of Konshu, and then right after that, seconds, pulled out a beautiful revive. 4 or 5 members coming back into the fray, completely protected by those spider nests in hotel. Boom, round over.
Yeah. Something. Part of me wants to wonder if this might sound like more of a conspiracy. What? I wonder if Gen.G intentionally got womboed down, intentionally got hit by the Strangling Prison, intentionally got hit by the Hana Konshu, and it just allows Snake to revive everyone at the same time. Remember, you don't want to get staggered in this kind of game, and sometimes you wonder if getting womboed intentionally in order to respawn at the exact same time was a strategy that Gen.G were thinking about on the fly. I'm thinking too much. I'm thinking too much. It might be a stretch, but you never know.
We're reading perfectly into it, Dan. I believe that is very common, and that's actually why we see Adam being banned out so many times in the past. Sure, before that there was the revive meta because there was an additional team up with Mantis and Starlord. That's water under the bridge now, but still proves that Adam Warlock, even without that team up, is such a powerful pick for, let's say, a triple or a triple strategist comp, or basically these two metas.
Yeah. And with that Guardians comp gone, it provides a lot more options, but then again, it makes that Karmic Revival all the more valuable. And Snake obviously taking full advantage of that. And like you said, more teams have been putting a little more emphasis on the Adam Warlock, which used to be the go-to ban if you want to deny the Guardians comp in the past, but now seeing how valuable this Karmic Revival is, especially since it got a decent buff where you're not being revived at limited HP now. You have I think it's become a percentage rather than a flat amount. So that kind of buff is proving to be so valuable.
Yeah, and it's a feels bad moment for Rocket University. They, from the likes of Be Like XVE, a team that we've all grown to love from stage 1, trying to assemble Ashes from those losses back in stage 1 and trying to pull together a new 6 to 8 stack for Rocket University, battling their way through OQ, right? Having rebranded from Revival as well, making their way into the top 12, and then having to face Gen.G is such such a mental kind of fortitude, mental break for them, to be honest.
Yeah, and on the side of Gen.G, right, you got a commanding victory that puts you, I believe, yeah, it puts them as 2-0, so ever so slightly closer to getting that playoff position. And it's just a matter of, can they get high enough? Well, first of all, they need to find another win in their own group in order to solidify their spot in the playoffs mathematically. But now the question becomes, after getting that victory, does it? It's just going to be a matter of, can they get a high enough seeding to put themselves in the best position in order to win here in Ignite?
Yeah, Group B is indeed filled to the brim with tenacious players and teams. We've got the likes of Reject, and of course, who can forget Zero Tenacity with their incredible performance against the former top, stage 1 winner that was Rejects. And actually, that's precisely who Gen.G is going to be up against next week, early on, right on day 1 of week 2 against Rejects themselves. Team number 1 versus team number 2, and in the past we saw that grand finals go the absolute distance. Best of 7. How many maps, chat? 8 maps in total, and Reject able to clinch it off right at that tail end. And so Gen.G, I think they gotta be prepared for that. I think we're probably gonna have an interview with one of the players on Gen.G soon as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be none other than False, one of the frontliners of Gen.G. Obviously, we're thinking a little too far ahead, but now we gotta rewind a little bit back to the present. They still have a long way to go, but right now, their road is looking very clear as we do beat False yet again. How are we feeling after that one?
Hi. I'm feeling pretty good. It's a pretty easy game. I'm happy with the performance there. Feeling good though. Feeling confident. Vibes are good.
I like it. The vibes are flowing. Everything's immaculate. I mean, the performance on the servers against Rocket University was spectacular and flawless. So once again, congratulations on your win. This will conclude
Thank you.
Your first week here for the group stages, and on to next week. We're thinking ahead already. Season 4 is gonna kick in. We've been running 3.5 patch thus far. How's the team preparing for Season 4 and the new meta?
We've been scrimming a bit of Season 4. I mean, it's just came out in Ranked as well now, so obviously we're all playing Ranked and, just getting the experience with, like, the new changes. It seems like a good shakeup. There's definitely, like, some new comps that people are playing. The triple support's looking super strong, so I think we'll see, like, some new, some differences between the patches, for sure.
Oh, yeah, and that's exactly what you want to see. You've got that preparation going. You've got some ideas flowing inside the team. And then just quick final question before we close things out here in this interview. I believe your next opponent, if I could find that in a quick moment, unless Multi is able to help me out here.
The opponent you have here is going to be Reject. We've seen Gen.G go against them and unfortunately failed to secure that first place in stage 1, and obviously Gen.G must be hungry for a bit of a revenge fight against their the Rejects themselves. Are we ready? How are we feeling right now?
I'm feeling super confident. I'm really excited for it, honestly, because like these last 2 matches have been like, they haven't been like the most competitive, so I'm looking forward to like a real match against some like actual good players. So I'm super excited. I'm really confident going in, and we're gonna bring home the win.
Yeah, and we are excited here as well. Thank you, False, for joining us. Go get that well-deserved rest. We know you're playing on the other side of the world, so
yeah,
go rest up. You earned it.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
That was False once again. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. That was False.